This is the all-new Community Connection. I'm your host, Jade Harrell, keeping you connected to our community. Senseless violence, shattered lives, traumatic stress, and untreated anxiety and depression. There's never been a greater need for an interactive, informative, and entertaining approach to provide real mental health awareness to youth in our community. So I'm asking all of you to listen closely. I am joined today by Super Bowl champion, Mr. Roland Williams, St. Louis Rams Rookie of the Year. Mr. Roland Williams, tight end, my friend, Mr. Roland Williams, is joining me today with Dr. Don Porter, and we are here to talk about an awesome event, sharing our stories. Good day to you both.
Good day.
Hey.
All right. What was that, number 86? I'm used to you being a real high-powered energy kind of guy. What's that?
I didn't want to talk at once.
Oh, I see. You reserve some of that.
Wait my turn.
Well, Dr. Porter, talk to us about this event.
This event basically was born out of the fact that there's so many tragedies that are going on in our country. And as we can tell, even recently in the last year with everything going on in Ferguson, there's just a lot of pain and suffering within our youth. And we're seeing it played out in our communities. We're seeing it played out across the country with suicides, death, violence, depression, substance and alcohol abuse, senseless killings, murders, suicide murders. And so we felt that there was a need to start trying to make a difference in another way, addressing the issues that are going on in our youth and helping them to understand that it's okay to talk about what's going on. We have covered up, there's been such a stigma over mental health, and all we typically will see is the major issues. Someone who has a psychotic disorder or someone who has major things that cause some of the things that we're seeing. The media jumps on it, everybody gets involved, but then nothing ends up happening in the long term. Policies don't change. As we can see, even within the southwestern Illinois area, Missouri area, the states, funding is dwindling, resources are crumbling, and people are suffering. And so this is an idea, an interactive approach to give kids an opportunity to speak to other kids and to hear from adults who have been through some of the things they're going through and say it's okay to talk about it. The hope is that they will recognize it's okay to meet somebody, talk to somebody, get help. When you look at the statistics right now, 20% of youth aged 13 to 18 have a diagnosable mental disorder, mental illness.
20%?
20%. 13% of youth ages 8 to 15 also have a diagnosable mental disorder or mental illness. And when you look at the juvenile justice system, so many of our youth are falling into that system. 70% of youth in the juvenile justice system have a diagnosable mental disorder, at least one.
70%.
70%. And this is what's happening to our youth. And if we don't do something about what's going on with them, where are we headed as a society and as a community? Mm-hmm. So one of the things we've done is called in Roland Williams, a phenomenal speaker who we are excited to have here with us to speak about his own issues and his own challenges, how they have impacted his life personally and professionally, and then recognizing that, we all have things that change the trajectory of our life. Mm-hmm. And that can cause us difficulties, and it's okay to reach out and get help. And getting that help can make all the difference in the world.
Mm-hmm. So the research is clear that the impact of trauma and the toxic stress is indeed making us sick. And we don't think about it, how much greater that can be for our youth. There was a recent study of children in Compton, California. Mm-hmm. Well, actually not a study, but a class action lawsuit against the school district there because of the amount of trauma that the children experience from early ages has indeed impacted their ability to learn and function just on a normal basis. Help me understand in your work and help our listeners understand really how trauma affects one's mental well-being. Like you said, we have a stigma over mental health, but I think we need to really understand what mental wellness and what mental health means and how natural it is for the everyday person.
Right. Everything that you experience daily impacts your life. So even when we say mental illness, and I think that scares people when they hear that term, that when we're talking about mental health and mental wellness, it's everything. So when you talk about trauma in your life or in your community, it could be the violence in your community. If you're worried about when I come home, am I going to get shot? Is something going to, like the young girl who got shot just yesterday or 2 nights ago in the bedroom doing her homework. I mean, that's a lot of anxiety. And if you're worried about that, you can't focus on school. You're not thinking about that. If there's stress in your home, if there's stress in your community, just the pressures of making good grades or doing well in your sport or your whatever your interests are, there's a lot of pressure on our youth. They don't have healthy ways of expressing it and dealing with it. And so it affects the way you think. It affects the way you interact with others, and it affects the way you engage your community.
Sure. Now, don't we live in a pretty stressful life? Can't we expect there to be stress? Or are we talking about something greater than what I guess we have considered normal? Or maybe we need to not accept this level of stress as normal?
I think it's twofold. One, I think we don't need to accept the level of stress that we have. Everyone needs healthy ways of handling it. And many people find ways to be resilient. You find that talking to your friends helps relieve some of the stress. Oftentimes, youth will kind of hold it to themselves because they feel like they're the only ones. They haven't learned that people have shared experiences. So it's all about me, and they don't reach out because they feel like nobody will understand. So it's teaching them that it's okay to talk and that we're all going through stuff. The other piece is, yes, it's also that extra level of stress that we have, with the recent recession, with everything that's going on in our country. There's so much additional stress on ourselves. The media is making a difference. All the social media adds a whole nother level of pressure. When I was growing up, if you got bullied, it only was happening during school. It wasn't 24 hours a day, and so there's so much more that our youth are dealing with. And now it's almost like we're, the fast food generation. Everybody wants things to be better now. And when it's not, and they don't have the resources to understand how to help, things fall apart quickly. Sure. And impulsively.
Well, you got the right fella to come and be keynote speaker now. Roland, we're looking at you and it looks like you're on top of the world. And over the years, I've never seen you with a frown on your face. And I know you've had some challenges, some in the few years that I've known you, but I couldn't imagine that some of the things that you may have endured. You're coming to shake these kids up, which you do in such grand style. Talk about what you're coming to say and how you're coming to share.
Well, the reality is that it's not so much as what happens to you in your life. It is how you cope and how you deal with them. There is a powerful quote by the amazing Frederick Douglass that says, "It's easier to build strong children than to repair broken men."
Yes, sir.
It is so important that when we see the things that have happened in this society that's going on right now in our society, from gangs to violence to drugs to foolish, we have to be more proactive and preventative opportunities to help our students make better decisions before tragedy occurs, before the bullying occurs, before the violence occurs, before the failure academically occurs. Right. And so I'm here to talk about that no matter how we look, and Jay, I'm a positive person, but my positivity has came from the beginning of pain. And when you talk about violence and abuse and the poverty mentality, which to me is toxicity all over the place, the depression, the selfishness, these things impact your life. And they make you think and operate in a function that doesn't lead towards healthy living and healthy relationships on any level. Either extent, what I'm here to talk about, which is why I love this event so much, this is an event that's talking about solutions. This is an event to come and talk about, here's issues and challenges that we all have, or you might know somebody who has these issues. And here's a laundry list of solutions that you can do to make a difference. And that's why I'm proud to come and support. My life's passion now in life after football is helping people live their best life. And this one's a little personal to me because I have an opportunity, thanks to Dr. Porter, to share more intimate details about my life and the part that aren't so happy and snappy, and talk about how you can convert that and use that as leverage, as a catalyst to help you accomplish your dreams.
Sure. Roland, talk about how you were able to overcome some of your challenges and how you were able to, push through.
For me, there's 5 ingredients, that I believe are critical to the change. And I'll talk about this, obviously, in greater detail, but there's 5 critical ingredients, y'all. This is for transformation. This is for overcoming no matter what your situation is. The first one I call is gridiron truth. At some point, you have to confront head on your reality, where you are, the challenges you're faced with, and you have to confront another truth. Where do you really want to go? And say, I'm allowed to dream and I'm allowed to have greatness in my life. I'm allowed to have a healthy marriage, relationship, financial, whatever it is. I can have that despite my current situation or my past. And then we got to be honest about what it's going to take to get there. The second ingredient is, I call it unbreakable belief. You have to believe that you are worthy of having that thing that you desire, that lifestyle you desire. You know, me coming from poverty saying I want to go to the NFL and make millions of dollars. You know what I mean? It didn't even sound right.
Right.
To a lot of people. Mm-hmm. I had to have unbreakable belief that that was possible. The third ingredient, I call it conscious courage. You have to be courageous mentally, not just physically, mentally, to go and execute what it's going to take to get it done, which leads me to my fourth ingredient, which to me is the most important one of all. It's called intentional teamwork, y'all. Teamwork makes the dream work. Teamwork is how families work. Teamwork is how community works. Whenever we get that situation when we think we're by ourselves, when we're isolated, there's no hope and there's no one that can help you and everything's doom and gloom, we miss that's the most critical ingredient. We got to reach out to people who care. We got to keep going until we find connection points, till we find solutions. We cannot quit. We cannot pack it up. We got to reach out and get teamwork. And the last ingredient is passionate perseverance, y'all. You know, we can't say just because I've tried to reach out to 3 counselors and they didn't help me, I'm quitting now. Just because I failed in 9th grade and I failed on 3 or 4 subjects, and, you know what I mean, I'm behind the 8 ball, I'm giving up now. Just because I committed a crime and I've done some things because of the pain and anger and a moment of anger, that doesn't mean that my life is done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
Because I had a baby early on in my life, that means it's a wrap. No. Mm-hmm. We have to have an inner spirit of learning what that means to persevere. That means continuing despite delay in accomplishing your goals. So, to me, I believe those are the 5 ingredients that, for me, when I apply those principles to my life at different phases of my life, that's why I'm here today, and that's why I want to share with the young people on Saturday.
Sure. Take it another step, Roland, and add those 5 ingredients in a boiling pot of this stress that Dr. Porter is talking about. How and where can we pull from that and utilize that when at every turn there's something?
I believe that every single day is an opportunity. You know what I mean? It's all about how we see it. My girl, we always talk about this as a kid. It's all about how you see everything. If we miss the moment of the day, we miss the moment of the game. You see, one play does not mean a game. I'll use a football analogy. Y'all.
Yeah. Well, you're right.
One play in a game, that's a bad play. Does not mean that's the whole game.
Yes.
One game does not mean that's how your whole season is. One season doesn't mean that's your entire legacy. So you have to realize that every single day you have an opportunity to get up and play, but you got to do your best every single day. And there's going to be some times where it's going to be challenging. You're going to have days where you fail. You're going to have days where you have setbacks, but it's what are we going to do tomorrow? We have to take it one day at a time. And I think that's what we're missing. We're too busy now. Everybody's too busy. We miss it. Right. We're looking for the next thing. No, today. See, today I woke up and hugged my son. Today is I love you with all my might today. Today we did the push-ups and the workout. Today oatmeal. Today study. Today pray. Today.
Be in the moment.
That's right.
We got to stay present in all areas of our life, y'all, and that's the secret. All of us have to stay present. So if you're not doing anything on Saturday, if you're free on Saturday, and you care about the community that we live in, and you care about Missouri like I care about Missouri and Illinois, then why don't you take some time to come on to this event and come be present on this Saturday and make a difference? That's all I'm saying. Come be present and help pour into our young students. Come be present. Bring us a young person that you know that might need some help and some support. Why don't you bring them to this event? Because that's how we're going to change things together. It takes teamwork, and this is a beautiful step in the right direction.
It most certainly is, and they are in for a treat, and certainly some phenomenal encouragement from you, along with There's a dance team and 15 minutes of fitness, interactive workshops, resource information for the adults and parents, morning snacks and lunch provided for free. This is, yeah, right? It sounded good to you too, and you was already registered. Right. We're looking for all middle and high school students, and the targeted ages are young adults, 6th grade and higher. And this year's theme is connecting the mind with the body, emphasizing the importance of mental health and wellness for today's youth. Tell us real quickly, though, Dr. Porter, about the Carla Smith Foundation.
The Carla Smith Foundation is an organization that actually was born out of pain and suffering with a family. Their daughter had bipolar disorder, and she died by suicide. And the family, in their struggle to find support and help during her illness, found that there was a dearth of support out there and resources. And so they felt like they wanted to change their tragedy into something for others. And by doing that, they started the foundation, and it's a foundation for families of individuals who have family members with a mental illness or who have died by suicide. They provide support groups, information, educational resources, and they have been a phenomenal support to this event. I can't continue to thank them for all that they've done with this organization.
Excellent. Other supporters include Family Renewed LLC, the National Alliance on Mental Illness of Southwestern Illinois, Gateway Regional Medical Center, St. Clair County Mental Health Board and the Juvenile Justice Council, Belleville O'Fallon Alumni Chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, and the 40 Days of Nonviolence, and our social media specialist, Karen Liggins of Higher Level Coaching and Meditation, who will be tweeting live from this event. It's called Sharing Our Stories 2015, an opportunity to connect, to communicate, and to make a change and difference with your lives and connecting your mind and your body. Middle and high school students, Saturday, August 29th, with Roland Williams, former STL Rams tight end and NFL superstar, in my book for sure. Leader on STL Rams Super Bowl, what is that, 34? I'm like, that's a lot of X's, daggone. All right. Leader on STL Rams Super Bowl 34 championship team, 2 times NFC champion in 1999 and 2002. 8-year NFL veteran, community mentor and role model, good friend of mine, Roland Williams, will be the keynote speaker. You can register and get a link to the Eventbrite registration at familyrenewed.com, familyrenewed.com. Of course, you can give them a call at 618-234-7312. That's 618-234-7312. And let them know you heard about it on Community Connection with Jade Harrell. Bring your questions, get your young people registered, bring a friend. Event starts at 8 o'clock. Till 3 o'clock. It's going to be a full day of spectacular opportunity and renewal. Thank you, Roland, for being with me again, my brother.
I'm so glad to talk with you. I'm so glad to be a part of this event. If you got time on Saturday, please make your way down. I'd love to see you.
Absolutely. And Dr. Dawn Porter, we appreciate this effort and this collaboration and your attention to this matter.
Thank you.
All right, that's it for this week. If you have questions or comments or have something you'd like to include in the community calendar, you can leave a message on our message box at 314-333-8369, 314-333-8369. And for more information about our show or any of our guests, you can visit us online and listen to the podcasts at Spreaker.com. That's Spreaker.com. And search Community Connection with Jade Harrell. You all be blessed, do blessed, and take care.